سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح، تنهدى يا صاحي كي تستريح.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح. الصلاة خير من النوم. الصلاة خير من النوم. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة، آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته، إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما، اللهم أجرنا من النار. Inshallah, today we will be talking about one of Imam Nawawi's hadiths again, which is talking about gratitude, and it has something to do with charity. The previous hadith, which is hadith number 25, which also talks about different types of charity. Imam Nawawi wanted to compile some areas of the hadith that related to charity. So these areas are actually areas hadith 25 and hadith 26. Let's read the Arabic and the translation, inshallah. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كل سلام من الناس عليه صدقة، كل يوم تطلع فيه الشمس تعدل بين اثنين صدقة، وتعين الرجل في دابة فتحمله عليها أو ترفع له عليها متاعه صدقة، وكلمة الطيبة صدقة، وبكل خطوة تمشيها إلى الصلاة صدقة، وتميط الأذى عن الطريق صدقة. رواه البخاري ومسلم. Abu Huraira radiallahu anh reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, on every person's joint or small bones, such as your fingers and toes, there's a sadaqah. Every day the sun rises, doing justice between two people is a sadaqah. Assisting a man to mount his animal or lifting up his belongings, and that is a sadaqah. A good word is a sadaqah. Every step you take towards prayer is a sadaqah, and removing harmful things from the pathway is a sadaqah, reported by Bukhari and Muslim. So this hadith lays out the foundations of social interaction. We find that sulami means the smaller bones, because the Prophet ﷺ said kullu sulami, which means the smaller bones like our toes and our fingers. So imagine we have 360 bones in our body, either less or more, but somewhere around that number. And in Sahih Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ states that we have 360 bones in our body, either less or either more. Therefore, we understand the hadith is trying to say that every day, because every bone, with every bone and joint, we have to give one sadaqah. So basically, that's 360 plus times throughout the day that we have to give sadaqah, because there are only 360 bones in the body. Imagine how many other joints there are connecting all those bones. Subhanallah. So look how many sadaqahs that the Prophet ﷺ is commanding us to do. Some scholars say that in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ used the principle of pointing towards what is more worthy, and reminding us more of what is less worthy. Like we are being reminded of the blessings we might not be able to consider because they're very small, like having a tongue or having a toe. These are the small things that we forget to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for. So, but when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us something big, this is a time when all of us start praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His glory and His greatness and His generosity, for giving parts from His wealth to us. Other scholars said that the blessing of these small joints are in fact a great blessing, because we all need to be reminded by it. We cannot use our hands, our feet without these joints, and we barely can do anything without our hands and feet. We can't even eat. Now we need to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings over here so that we can show our gratitude for it. So why should we show our gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Number one, the scholars have said to maintain it as a blessings. They said, hold on to the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by showing gratitude. Number two, so that the blessing does not turn into a punishment. And this usually happens in the hereafter. Like the Quraysh, we see multiple times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them money, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them izzah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them honor, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them children, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them anything that they desired. But they did not appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it. Instead, they started worshiping idols that they didn't even believe in, but they only believed in it because it was getting them profit. So this is how a blessing turns into a punishment, usually in the hereafter. And sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes the human even in the dunya, and then even also in the hereafter. May Allah protect us from the punishments of the hereafter. I mean, number three, most of mankind do not show gratitude from to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we need to be the best mankind possible, because those are the minority. Number four, the opposite of gratitude is kufr, rejection. This is what happened with the Quraysh. They had blessings again and again and again. And this just kept on building their arrogance, and it built up their kufr. And they just started rejecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even more. And number five, we will be asked about our blessings on the day of judgment. And the Prophet ﷺ always mentions that remember to do good deeds. Like in the previous hadith that we were doing, it was one of the hadith that we were doing before. It was saying that Islam holds up onto five pillars, that we have to do shahada, we have to pray our salah, we have to do zakah, we have to do Sawm in the month of Ramadan, and we have to go to the Bayt Allah. We have to go to the Kaaba in Mecca. So we have to ask. The Prophet ﷺ says that we always have to remember the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, so that we do not become like any of these Quraysh people or any people before them or after them. And we want to be the opposite of kufr, which is gratitude, inshallah. And then there are three pillars of gratitude to itself. That number one, recognizing the blessing in the heart, using the blessing in a way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pleases. And last one, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessing by the tongue and showing thankfulness with limbs. Recognizing the blessing is of being able to show the gratitude is far greater than even receiving the blessing itself. No matter if it's big or small, just to show the gratitude is a big deal. The Prophet ﷺ said about the believer, if good reaches him and he is grateful, that is better for him, even if it's small. So, what this hadith is trying to mean is that being grateful is better than anything that he would receive. If he receives a car or a good house or anything, but gratefulness is it's something that the Prophet ﷺ cherishes, and so does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. جزاك خيرا. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح تنهدى يا صاحي كي تستريح.